Remember when Raven almost knocked out the Power at WrestleMania 17?
Remember when Hulk Hogan fixed WrestleMania for Bret Hart?
Do you remember when WrestleMania 2 was held in 3 different venues across the country?
Hi, I'm Jaymes Mansfield bringing you the best. Hulk Hogan, brother. What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on whatever it is that it runs wild on? I don't remember the rest of it.
Oh, yeah. My name is Sylvia Nix, and a cream always rises to the top, giving you the best Macho Man Randy Savage.
Or Captain Jack Sparrow.
And you're watching Queens of the Ring! WrestleMania has provided us with some incredible moments throughout the years, from Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, to Edge spearing Jeff Hardy from 25 feet in the air, to Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31.
Or even Santina Marella winning a 25 Diva Battle Royal. That's not a good moment?
No.
I liked it.
No. We're not talking about any of those great moments. We're not even talking about the storylines that led into any of those great moments. In this episode, we're listing our choices for the top 5 dumbest WrestleMania storylines.
Brooke Hogan up in this bitch.
Our number 4 through 2 turns out didn't actually record. We were talking, but we forgot to hit the record button. Please stand by for our number 1 moment. In the meantime, think of all the compliments you want to leave me and Sylvia in my comment section, starting with how pretty we are.
Our number 1 dumbest WrestleMania storyline was actually a main event. We are talking about Triple H versus Chris Jericho with Stephanie McMahon in the main event of WrestleMania 18.
Oh boy.
Oh, now it's hard to imagine Chris Jericho being in a storyline nowadays where he takes a back seat, but in his first WrestleMania main event, he wasn't even really the focus of the rivalry.
No, it was Triple H having his falling out with Stephanie, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
And this, like...
I'm progressively remembering more and more from it, because it's a lot.
There is a lot to unpack in this particular storyline. Now, Chris Jericho was... in his reign as the first ever undisputed champion, having unified the WWF and WCW titles in the most prestigious championship program ever. And instead of pushing him to the moon like he deserved, he was the crash test dummy for a feud between Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who were getting a divorce in this storyline.
Which, here's the thing that confuses me about this, because I remember watching, when I just started watching wrestling again, I saw that the Authority was him and Stephanie McMahon as a married couple.
Yeah, they never sold this main event. They never sold the result.
This is not considered canon WWE?
Right. A WrestleMania main event.
Did they just abandon the fact that this happened?
Like, where did they, like, get back together down the line? We never saw that.
They never established that.
Right. Anyway, like... So you have Triple H and Stephanie McMahon who are bickering about, like, custody of their dog. Like, at some point they cut a car in half.
Yes.
And I mean, somewhere floating in this storyline, we have Chris Jericho, like, with 2 big championship belts, the 2 most important championship belts in wrestling history.
If I recall correctly, didn't he have a nickname for Stephanie McMahon? Something like a dirty hoe or a...
At some point, yeah. I mean, I remember...
It was a really long, lengthy, like, really horrible nickname for her.
It was pretty bad. I mean, and this is, once again, it doesn't make sense, because Chris Jericho had a history of, like, insulting Stephanie McMahon on any chance he could. I remember my favorite, it's problematic as hell, but one of my favorite promos of all time is when Chris Jericho and The Rock were going, like, tit for tat about how to insult Stephanie McMahon's breast implants. Like, it's funny, but, like, maybe I shouldn't think it's funny. It's pretty tasteless, but if you watch it with, like, a 90s mindset, you'll get it.
With nostalgia goggles on, it's really good.
Yeah. But anyway, like, it didn't make sense that Chris Jericho then attached himself to Stephanie, who he famously hated for years, to feud with Triple H. This is how I personally would have booked it. You have Chris Jericho, who's this underdog, who's been constantly, like, shat on by bigger companies, who's already at this point been given a 1-hour run with the WWF Championship only to have it stripped away and not even put in the record book on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Somebody who was struggling constantly to like break through his upper mid-card hell that he was in for all of these years. Somebody who walked away from WCW for greener pastures only for Vince McMahon to like actually tell him that he wasn't worth the paper his contract was written on. He was such a great underdog. This was your moment to turn him face and have people cheer for him and face him against the establishment. Triple H, the man who is married to the boss's daughter. That storyline writes itself. And if you didn't want to change their face-heel dynamic, Chris Jericho was playing a great chicken shit heel.
Well, you gotta remember it this way, like, I love the point you raise up here, but you also have to remember it's WWE. And if it's WWE and it's a WrestleMania, McMahon's have to be on the card.
They do.
There's no way around it.
Stephanie could have been in Triple H's corner.
Like they were getting a divorce.
They didn't need to be getting a divorce.
Because they never even used
that
it.
They didn't even. Sorry about your.
No, you're fine.
They didn't even sell the divorce.
No, that's the thing. That's the craziest thing that I remember about this. Like, they never even established when they get back together.
No,
like
never.
they completely ignored the storyline.
To this day, like somewhere down the line, they met at an Applebee's and were like, "Fine."
They reconciled at WWF New York restaurant.
Oh, gross! I bet that would be a perfect location for a Hamburger Mary's.
Ooh.
I'm looking at you, Sugar Baker twins. Anyway, there's so much that you could have done differently, and it's really sad that Chris Jericho, who is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and I think any indie smark who's watching this would agree that Chris Jericho is the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, a god, and if you disagree, you need to shut the hell up. I'm so mad that this storyline resulted in this. And then they had to deal with the poor booking decision of putting this on after Hulk Hogan versus The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's why I think this is dumb. All of it. Do you have anything to add about that?
I just forgot how stacked that card was.
Yeah, WrestleMania 18 is one of the most underrated.
That was like right after the what's
Invasion.
That? Invasion,
storyline.
yeah. They had this huge flooded roster
like
town.
Diamond Dallas Page versus Christian in a match that shouldn't have been as good as it was, and
Diamond Dallas Page in general in WWF is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But that's for another time.
That is for another time. This video is dedicated to the recently deceased and legendary main eventer of WrestleMania 2, King Kong Bundy. Thank you for everything that you've done, including your amazing run with Married with Children. I will forever love you. Anyway, my name is Sylvia Nix.
And I'm Jaymes Mansfield.
And until next time, the Mega Powers are tagging out.
Oh yeah. What you gonna do
What does he say after that?
when the 20
Wait.
I don't know.
when the 24-inch pythons run wild on you?
Sure. Bye.
Click here and see our top 5 best women's tag teams in history. Or see our top 5 wasted talents on the main roster. Come on, click it. You know you want to. If you don't click it, I'll book you in a thong stink face match with Rikishi. So click it.